I just made a video for Perhaps Cooking, and I'm editing that video. But while I'm dog sitting, Mom suggested that I put the leaf in the table and get the cutting board out, because I took a hoodie like this apart, and I'm going to try to see about using it for a pattern. I do have issues with man-made fibers, so I'm going to see about making something out of cotton, and I'm going to see about doing it with a lining, or an inner and outer fabric, not an inner facing or an inner lining, just a liner and a shell for now. See if I can get a pattern for it. But I'm going to move coffee in the computer. I'm going to put the leaf in, and then I've got to go get the cutting board and find the hoodie that I took apart, and I have some craft paper to use to make a pattern. So I guess we're going to play with that next. It's been an hour that I've been editing, and I'm still not done. And once I get done editing, I've got to put it all together into one and then upload it. I'll probably have it maybe finished by 6. Well, I got the leaf in, kind of. I'm compiling the video that I just made for Perhaps Cooking. If you want to check that out, it's white peppercorns and coffee, or something like that is what I think I titled it. We'll get back to it. I need to clean this table, move the laptop out of the way, move the calendar, and then find the stuff that I need to do this. Well, I went out in Mom's sewing room, and I found the hoodie that I'd taken apart. And I also found a pair of sweats, or at least half of a pair of sweats that I'd taken apart, because that's what I intended to use as pattern. This is some cotton flannel sheets that I bought at a thrift store. They're in good shape, and this is what I was going to do my trial with. This will be the lining, this will be the shell. The only problem is, got a brand new roll of craft paper. I think it was 100 feet, and I can't find it. So I'm going to have to go pick up some more craft paper, and I think while I'm doing that, I'm going to have to pick me up a blizzard, just because that whole upside down thing. I went and picked up some craft paper and wanted to raise the tripod, use this little crank to do it, but it's not working. I guess it's broken. I'm going to try to lay these out, see about marking. I'm not real good with scissors, but I might even endeavor to get the scissors out. For now, I just want to get the pattern cut out and have marks, see how far I can get. Okay, there's the back. There's the hood. I want to modify that. That is a sleeve. Okay, that's a front and a sleeve. I don't need that one. Here's the front. Here's a pocket. So this was actually just garbage here. I'm not going to use it as part of the pattern. I need to take this one apart. I thought I had already, but I've still got this small piece. So I'll have to go get the unpickers and take this apart. But I'm going to need 2 of the front, 2 of the pocket, 2 of the sleeve, 1 of the back, and 1 of the hood. But it'll be 2 of one side and 1 of the middle. I'm going to go get the unpicker so I can do this. We'll get back to it. Still unpicking this hood. But I did go to get GQ. I did get my blizzard. I got the Reese's Outrageous, and it's melting on me. I'm sure I'll pay for this. I'm lactose intolerant. But it did stand upside down without coming apart, just like the coffee. But I just thought I'd mention that because I'm going to finish that and throw it away. So might as well, since I said I was going to go get it, I did. I had to add a little bit because the back is a little wider than the paper. And I put this dotted line here because I actually want this point higher than what it is, so that it gives a little bit more at the bottom. I want it to be just a hair longer. So I did that line to give me a reference for where I want that point to go. And then I'm just going to come straight down because the bottom of this has this ribbing and it is bunching it. So I'm going to just do a straight line down from there and then copy it. I just did a document real quick, typed up a page document, something that's going on, personal. But I do want to make this and get this pattern at least drawn out. I'm not sure about cutout, but I want to get this done. This piece I only need one of. The others, all but one of them, I need two of everything. So I'm going to get back to it. Going to draw this out, see about getting this completed, and we'll see how it goes from there. Forgot to flatten out where it was folded over for the hem there, so I had to readjust for this section in the arm where the seam was. So I had to do that, but this is the basic layout for the back of the jacket. I'm using a 2X hoodie for the pattern, but I'm adding about 2 inches at the 2.5 inches at the bottom, and I'll probably measure it in half and fold it so that I cut it even. I actually think that the left side or the right side is the better side, right up here. So that'll be probably where I go from. But let me get a few things done, and then I'll see about folding it and see how it looks. I don't know if you can see the crease, but I folded it here, and I just remembered at the bottom I did it about 2.5 inches longer than what it was. But when you fold it up and do the hem, it's better to have a longer hem because it hangs better. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet. This is just, I'm trying. Now I'm going to get the other pieces and try to get them laid out. This is the biggest one. I probably didn't need to do the whole thing, but I did because it was easier for me to think of it that way. I can probably just say cut on the fold or just do half of it, but for now this is the back. Let's see if I can remember. I looked up some information, and that means on the fold, and this means the direction of the fabric. I'm going to I just identified that as being the back and needs one cut on the fold, and the fabric goes up and down vertical with it. I'm going to put that one away for now and move on to the others. All of them will be a cut too, I believe, except for one. I've got the front covered, cut, excuse me. The only thing is it rolls up because I didn't fold it. I think I'll cut the back in half and allow it to roll as well, because it'll be easier to roll them than to lay them flat. In my opinion, at least, rather than folding them up, just leave them rolled up in a tube. Now I've got these other pieces. There's the sleeve, there's the center of the hood, and this is the side of the hood. This is the pocket. I think I'm going to add the pocket a little longer as well, but I need two of those, one of these. But I need to determine how big I'm going to make this, because this is this top edge, and so I'll have to, however much I lengthen this forward, I'll have to lengthen this as well, and I think I want to go at least 3 or 4 inches forward on that. But we'll get to that. That'll be the last one I do, those two. I've got some small pieces. Maybe I can get, yep, I can get the pocket out of that one, and then I'll have to get another full piece to do the sleeve and the hood. I forgot to add the little bit at the bottom of the pocket. I did add 2 inches with question mark. I'll do that when I come, before I cut this. I'll determine what I want to do. Whether I just want to lower the pocket or actually make it deeper, I'll determine that later. So that's another one cut. I'm going to have to go the full width of the paper to do the sleeve here. You can see how worn this is. I've had these for a long time. Just an interesting point of fact, the zipper, on the zipper bob, the part that you grab a hold of where it said Carhartt, on both, actually I had 4 of these, and they all lost that little brass piece that said Carhartt. This is one of them, but this is a different, this is a waterproof, heavier duty one that I don't wear as much, and it's still got its, but all of the others have lost, 4 others have lost the Carhartt brand zipper. I'm going to use buttons. That's also something I'm going to have to work out. I'm going to have to do like this on this area here, but I'll have to wait till Mom gets home to help me on that, because I don't know how to do that, and I don't really want to figure it out right now. This is the first time I've ever made a pattern, and I just basically followed the fabric from the old hoodie. I did call and ask my mom. She said that I could cut the back in half, so I already had it marked that way. So there's that. Then I have the sleeve. And I just threw these on the floor. This is the pocket, and I forgot to leave the length, but I'm just leaving that with a question mark if I'm going to add it. This is the center piece of the hood. I added 4 inches to it over what it had. And this is the front. So that's there. Sorry, that's noisy. And then this is the hood. This line was what it was, and I added 4 inches, which I also added to the piece that goes in the center. I need a little more shade because I have the issues with the light as well as with the man-made fibers, and so I lengthened that to make up for that. But there's the pattern. They actually, when I looked up patterns, they said that the better patterns were made out of craft paper and were rolled instead of made out of tissue paper and folded. So that's the pattern. This is what I'm going to line it with, is this white. And this is what I'm going to use for the shell, this plaid. It may or may not end up being reversible, I'm not sure yet, but this will be the outside, this will be the inside. I just haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. I know that Mom's called it the facing, where the buttons go. I may not do that. I really prefer buttons, but they're not, I'll have to figure that out yet. But that is what I'm doing so far. There's the pattern, there's the fabric. This is kind of for a trial, because I want to make sure that the pattern will work out. So this is the trial, and I think this is $5 or $6 for the two flannel sheets. We should be okay. That ended up taking me a lot of time to get that pattern cut out, and the reason it did was I had to do a lot of unpicking. This was the pair of sweats that I wanted to use for a pants pattern. And it's going to take unpicking as well, because I do want to use the pocket. I need to unpick it, or finish unpicking it, so that I can do both this and the pocket in separate pieces. This was just a pair of sweats. They fit. They're a little loose, but that's okay. I could probably actually use these as a pattern without actually cutting anything, but I'm going to do it anyway, because down the road it'll just be easier to have a pattern instead of a piece of fabric and go, what was that for? This is literally the pockets are 2 pieces each, and each leg is a piece. And then, because I'm going to use the drawstring on them as well, it'll be out of fabric, not purchased. I'll just turn some fabric inside out to make the drawstring, but that'll be later. For now, I'm just wanting to unpick this pocket off so I can do the paper pattern. Well, I'm done unpicking the pocket. That's it right there. Definitely an interesting shape. That's how it goes when it's folded, and this is how you get in through the side. But yeah, that's the pocket. I do need to iron this a little bit, so I'm leaving that for now. This goes into the waistband, and it needs ironed out. I just finished unpicking the bottom down here. I just had to unpick it because I wanted the full length and I wanted the width even. Again, I need to iron a little bit just to get these flattened out before I do anything with them. Seems I've spent most of the day, well, most of the evening unpicking. I've actually been working on this for 4.5 hours. So, well, 5.5 hours. So I'm going to go grab an ironing board and get these ironed out, and then I'll see about cutting out some patterns from this fabric. This piece was actually difficult to iron. It has stuff going both ways. Around it, this side's up, but the other way is where it was folded into the waistband. So I've got to get that one cut. I think I'll use this from the half of the back from the hoodie for this one, and then I'll have to cut a new one for the leg itself. The leg is a lot of fabric. It's 42 inches of fabric, so I'll get these cut and see what else I can think of to come up with to do. This is an interesting thing. I was going to try to fold this pattern in half, but it isn't the same. So I'm going to have to lay this out completely, because it's not the same at the crotch or at the waistband or at the cuff. So I'm gonna have to, I think, widen this again. But just interesting that I noticed that being that much different, probably to make it so that the front is flatter than the back, so that it allows for the buttocks, but not a real big issue. Just something I noticed and something I'm going to try to fix. I'm going to mark the paper off so that I can cut this, and then I'll add a little bit to it. This is the leg of the sweatpants that I took apart. This is the front. This is the back. It's got a little more pronounced point there. I don't know if that's exactly right, but that's how it laid out. It's close. This fabric, I don't know how it was originally cut because it's stretched, but that looks like the leg. I'm going to cut that out the way it is now, and we'll go from there. Definitely going to have a pattern of some type by the time I'm done. Well, there's the pants pattern with the pocket somewhere down there. It's all rolled together. So I managed to get two patterns cut out based on the fabric I had. I will have to do facing for cuffs and the buttons on the front of it, but and I need to do a drawstring for this because I'll just use extra fabric for the drawstring because it just seems logical. Sorry about the noise. I've got the dryer going in the background, and I've some tennis balls in it to make it go faster. I'm going to clean up. It's almost 10 o'clock, and I've been doing video for almost 8 hours. Still have to do editing on this one. It's going to be a day. Thanks for watching. We'll see what we can do about getting these put together, cut into, start making the patterns into cut fabric, and then start sewing it together.